meet all of you again and talk to you about the MGR Hackathon we are going to launch. Let me request Mr. Ganesh Babu to start the event with the Tamil Thai Vaarthu.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் மதனமென திகழ்வரத கண்டமிதில் எக்கணமும் அதில் சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம் வியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
Ganesh, I'd like to start by sharing my screen. Hello again. A warm welcome from the Abdul Kalam Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development. Today's agenda, we have an hour with us. There will be a brief introduction to the activities of AKC. Then we will talk about the MGR Hackathon, and then we will learn a few principles on innovation. Dr. Abdul Kalam Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development was started by Dr. MGR Educational Research Institute in March 2016 with the following objectives: to stimulate technological innovation in the university environment, to increase commercialization of campus innovation, foster and encourage participation by small business campus firms in technology. We were very fortunate to get a funding of about 3 crores from the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, under their flagship project, DST NewGenIEDC, to help us support this activity. So I'm extremely happy that in the last 2 years, we have funded 25 student project prototypes. We have put in 87.5 lakhs for creating these project prototypes and startup center in the last 2 years using the government funding. We have 57 incubatees with us. We focus on 12 different areas, and we've trained 89 students in entrepreneurship through our technical entrepreneurship course. We are extremely proud that we have applied for 5 patents, all derived from students' creativity, and we have 2 campus startups, and we will soon be having at least 3 more. 2 of them are funded under the DST's Startup Nidhi project. Just a brief look at some of the products that have come from the DST NewGen. One is a foot dynamometer, which was developed by the Department of Physiotherapy of our institute, Dr. Rajalakshmi and Bharat Kumar. They've created an instrument which can measure and help in the treatment of foot muscles. Holsen is an equipment that has been created with a group of students and a faculty from Thai Mukambige Dental College that eliminates the existing dental X-ray holders. The third is the ergonomic wheelchair, which was a brainchild of Sabari, Dinesh, and their mentor. which is a wheelchair which can mobilize geriatric patients very easily. This is just a glimpse of some of the products that have come from the NewGen projects. The students who join the NewGen also get to visit and participate in enormous events all over the country. Students have traveled from Coimbatore to Himachal Pradesh to participate in training programs, competitions, and other things. We also had a finalist from our NewGenIEDC group to participate and represent MGR at the Smart India Hackathon 2019 and in the proof of concept uh, finals at AACTE headquarters, and more recently, our students are finalists at the Innova 2020 at the organized by IIT PALS at IIT Madras. So you can take a look at some of the places our students have been visiting. The core team of the AKC incubator consists of me, my faculty colleagues. Dr. J. Arun Kumar is a coordinator and is a certified entrepreneurship educator. And so is Ms. Bhuvaneshwari Nagarajan, who is a qualified educator. Mr. Rizwan specializes in fabrication, creation of sensors, etc. And Mr. Ganesh Babu helps us with creativity and social media. Apart from this, we have an extended group of faculty who support us, including Dr. N.S. Subashri, Dean of Engineering and Science, Dr. Sendil Velan, Dean of Engineering and Technology, Dr. Manivannan from the Faculty of Humanities and Science, and a lot of other faculty who help as mentors for our student teams. So let's take a quick break. I request Mr. Ganesh Babu to play a small video on the timelines of AKC. So students, did you see that? Did you see some very important people there? Did you see the chairman of ACTE, Mr. Sahasrabudhe, and the minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank interacting with students from NewGen? So that is the sort of networking you can get when you get into the NewGen IEDC projects, because these are funded by the Department of Science and Technology. And we also have a very active Institute Innovation Cell, which is again guided by the MHRD, that is the Ministry of Human Resource Development, with a lot of other activities. Okay, now on to the topic of the day, all about the MGR Online Hackathon. We want the power of youth to unleash themselves in creating solutions for problems around us. Okay, I'm just talking about a hackathon because when I grew up, when I studied, this word just wasn't there. I know that for you people, it's a very, very familiar term. So hackathon is a melting pot of creativity, ideas, and skill sets. People come together and they solve problems using their creativity. Typically, a team of 2 to 5 get together and work on this non-stop, either 24 hours or 36 hours continuously. Why do people do this? This sounds so crazy. Why would somebody want to stay continuously for 36 hours doing something? The reason is, a lot of people find this very exciting. It's an opportunity to learn something new, understand a problem around us, ideate on potential solutions. And this could just be a first step to a bigger opportunity. Here are some very, very well-known hackathon organizers. I'm sure all of you would have heard about them. The IBM Hackathon, Cisco DevNet, Google's Hashcode, Hack Zurich, TechCrush Disrupt. These are known worldwide, and we have our own version in India, the Smart India Hackathon, or SIH, which is conducted by the Ministry of Human Resource Development and AICTE. And they have also roped in a lot of other ministries and industry to give them problem statements. So there are 2 editions in the Smart India Hackathon. One is a software edition where students give on apps or other software hacks. And in a hardware hack, they actually create prototypes. So here is a glimpse of students from MGR who were the finalists for the SIH 2019 Hackathon and participated in Coimbatore. So this was held at Coimbatore Forge. And there you can see them explaining their project to Dr. Sahasrabuddhe, chairman of AICTE. Okay, even though they did not get the first prize, but I think they came back and they are so much wiser. These hackathon success stories, I just picked up a few of them. So Carousel is a app that was ideated during a hackathon like this. What it does is it sells second-hand goods. And GroupMe is a small app which helps people in creating quick groups to discuss. And Docracy is a software which helps in keeping important security documents safe. So these are just a few examples of apps which are created in hackathons, which actually became successful businesses. So if you look at this, what is common in these success stories? First, each of these people identified a problem that was worth solving. So somebody would be ready to pay them if that problem is solved. And these people had a unique idea for the solution. And they didn't stop with just the solution. They had the solution, they worked on it, created a prototype, got feedback with a few users, reiterated, worked on it until they convinced somebody to fund them to scale up. So do you want to join these people and become a successful hackathoner? If yes, you can continue here. So where do these project ideas come from? Is it like a sudden inspiration? Suddenly they get this idea. How does it happen? So in some cases, it starts because of a problem that they themselves have seen. For example, one of the students in the NewGenIEDC kept losing things, kept losing his ID card, keys, etc. And so he said, let me create a small hotspot tracker which I can keep, which would be useful in a small area. So he started with that idea. Or sometimes is there a problem that your friends complain about for which you have a really simple solution? So one of our friends, students, Melvin Kingsley, had an idea. He said, whenever a group of students are traveling by bike to say OMR Road, the whole family is so worried. So can we create a alert box, something like a black box that airplanes have, but can we make something that would be suitable for a bike? So he created that. So can you offer an innovative solution in place of an outdated product? So again, one of our students, Madesh, was watching how human people actually go into drains for cleaning, and that sounded so bad. So he said he will create a robot which can actually do this. Instead of putting a human being, can we put this robot to clean the drain? So this was an innovative solution which was initially funded by NewGen, and then subsequently the Institute Innovation Council of MHRD has funded Madesh to create his product. Apart from this, you can also look for ideas that need to be solved from the Smart India Hackathon website. The other ways to look for problems to be solved and ideas is to do design thinking. Design thinking is a process where you empathize with people to find out more about the problem. So Sabari and his colleague, they are physiotherapists, and one of the problems that they identified with geriatric patients or obese patients was a difficulty in taking them from their house to the hospital and between, say, a scan center back to the room, etc. Especially, when it's so difficult and cumbersome to shift the patient. So Sabari did this, empathize with the patient, and said that he wants to create a wheelchair which can be converted from a wheelchair to a reclining bed. So this was the idea that he started with, and he has created this. And apart from this, he said one of the problems we find in India is there are small steps that even somebody in a wheelchair has to work with. So he created a tri-wheel mechanism to help these people. So here is a project which was appreciated. We patented it and got it funded by NewGenIEDC, and now he has started a small company and is looking at commercializing this product. So this is an idea which came from empathizing with a customer. The other idea for possibility to look for ideas is to look at the SIH website. And today when I looked at the SIH website, there is a Cisco challenge where they are looking for a mind melt chatbot. Now, we all know that tourism in India is really growing. It's very exciting. And there's a group of people looking for a NLP engine, which is for a chat and voice assistant, which can help tourists. So this can be specially created for cruise tourism, adventure tourism, golf tourism, or medical tourism. So you can go into the SIH website and know more about what is the expectation that these people have. So once you identify problems like this, what do? No, can anybody crack any product? No. It depends on what your interests, your strength, your passion is. So the process for participating in such hackathons is first, understand yourself. What are your strengths? What is your passion? Then arm yourself with critical knowledge. Knowledge is so important. Then look out for challenges that you can solve with your knowledge. Then find a group of people that you get along with and they complement you. So you don't want somebody who's a clone of you, who knows exactly what you know. You want somebody who knows something other than what you know. So make a team, ideate with them. From many ideas, converge to maybe one or two ideas. Then validate your idea with a team, with outsiders. Then you create a prototype, get feedback, scale up, etc. So this is a general process in a from a hackathon ideation to a product. So if you look at all these things, there is so much to be done. So a question that we have, this creativity, is creativity that's something which can be learnt, or are people born creative? So here is a small experiment a group of people had done. This was, I read this in a book by Tina Seelig, talks about the neuroscience of creativity. So these are the different parts of the brain. So you see that frontal lobe there, that's a very, very important area. It's important for thinking, planning, organizing, problem solving, emotions, behavioral control, personality, and a couple of other regions that you see. So the experiment that they did was, if you think of creativity, who comes to your mind? Artists, singers, etc. So they took a group of jazz musicians and compared them with a couple of other people to find out which part of the brain is very active. And you know what they found? When somebody is very creative, that the frontal lobe, which is about thinking, planning, etc., that area actually starts coming down in activity. So you need to let go of some of those planning and organizational capacity so that you start creating. So that's an interesting insight, isn't it? So, and also it looks that creativity is something that people can train. Just like you can go to the gym to have better biceps or triceps, there's also a way by which you can be more creative, ensure that you don't control your thinking with your frontal lobe, but let go so that you have more creativity. The other thing that Tina Seelig talks about on creativity. So there are 6 components of creativity according to her. There are 3 internal factors and 3 external factors. And in the internal factors, the first point is knowledge. Without knowledge, you cannot go anywhere. Imagine, you have the best of vehicles. But if there is no fuel, will the car move from point A to point B? It wouldn't even move an inch. So knowledge is most important. And knowledge has to be relevant. So once you have the knowledge, you need to transform the knowledge into ideas. That's where imagination comes in. You need to be creative or imaginative. Then it's not just enough to have ideas. You can't just talk about an idea, lie back, relax, talk about an idea. You need to have an attitude to go in and experiment with your idea. So that attitude is a spark. So knowledge, imagination, attitude, these are internal components that are essential for creativity. There are also external components. You need to have resources. The community must be able to give you these resources. There must be people to buy what you make. Those people must have the money to buy what you're making. The habitat, home and work environment must be conducive to helping you. Culture, belief, values, behavior. Are people open to changes, buying new things? So these are all external components in the environment. And let me tell you, at MGR, we are very, very conducive. We have the community assets. We can help you if you have those 3 internal factors. Okay, so now let's take a look at some things on innovation, and then after that we will go on to the steps in the online hackathon that we are going to be embarking on. So here's a question for you. What is 5 plus 5? I know it's a YouTube, but I do know that all of you are telling me the single answer which is right, which is 10. So for this question, there is a single answer. This is called convergent thinking. Now let me just change it slightly so that I will remove that question mark and put it here. Now the question is, what plus what is 10? Now you can think of numerous infinite answers. It can be 1 plus 9, 2 plus 8, or if you can take decimals, 1.1 plus 8.9. So we have numerous answers. So this is divergent thinking. Now, how does this help? Now, there is an exam at Oxford which says the student is just given one term. Could be integrity, bias, gender balance. And then you have 3 hours to write the answer. And people find this most difficult because there is no specific question that has been asked. No, it's similar to a Smart India Hackathon or the MGR Online Hackthon. We are giving you freedom to choose any problem to work on. So that makes it very difficult rather than giving you a single problem and telling you to find an answer. So when there are so many possibilities, it's difficult to choose the right one. But this ability to think openly, ask questions, look at every situation from different angles is extremely important for an innovator. Now, the ability to reframe questions by looking at different perspectives is important for an innovator. If you are a innovator creating a lunar shuttle or a lunchbox, you need to look at it from the perspective of the different users. If you are designing a new car, you need the perspectives of the engineer who builds it, customers who buy the car, mechanic who repairs it, valet who parks the car, and all of these things. Now, changing this perspective is also used in movies for humor. Have you people watched Bol Bachan Bol or Tillamulle, Houseful? Most of these movies are about the same person, but the perspective of the other person. The other person, does he think he's a son or the son-in-law? That makes it all the more funny. So changing perspectives can give you an insight, a different insight into the same problem. So here are some examples how reframing these questions have been useful in business. Kodak was one of the first companies which was making cameras and films, but they did not change when the digitization came in. Whereas Netflix, Amazon, and others, they were able to go on to delivering DVDs by mail, etc. But from delivering DVD by mail, they were on to online delivery. That made them more successful. Flipkart started off with books, and now they are dealing with all products. And today, during this lockdown, I'm sure you would have noticed that Zomato, Swiggy, they could not deliver the groceries and other things, but they could not deliver restaurant food, but they could deliver grocery or vegetables, and they made it. They did get some money out of that. And I've seen people who have changed what they were doing. We had a milk seller who was delivering milk. He could not do it due to the lockdown, and he started selling products that had a longer shelf life, like ghee or paneer, etc. So this is about reframing their business by asking questions and finding out what do the customers need. So this asking questions is extremely important. There is a book called The Toyota Way, where they talk about the root cause analysis. So I'm sure all of us are looking out for problem statements to be solved in this hackathon. So here in this example in the Toyota office, there was a small oil spill on the floor, and when the boss is coming, immediately they want to clean the oil spill. But as per the protocol of the Toyota root cause analysis, if you see an oil spill, you have to first find out why is there oil on the machining department. So the answer was a seal in the machine 3 deteriorated and began cracking and leaked oil. Why? The seal material was not robust to the application. Why? lower cost seals were purchased from a new supplier. Why? Seal material not specified in service manuals. So from the oil spill on the floor, we've come down to the root cause analysis, and the reason given was that the seal material was not specified in the service manual. So this has to be confirmed by looking at it in the reverse order. And this was a way by which they solved this problem by understanding the problem, asking questions 5 times. So the rule 1 in creativity is to understand the root cause of a problem, ask why, reframe questions, look at the same problem from different perspectives. So that is extremely important for creativity. The second rule in creativity is to connect and combine. So if you people are wondering why am I talking about these things, please be patient as I show you about the hackathon. You'll understand that we do need to understand a few principles of innovation before we get on to the hackathon. So Chindogu is a Japanese art of unuseless inventions. See, here are a few examples. Here's a small baby who can also clean the floor. And here's one small umbrella which keeps the shoes clean and dry. Here is a buttering stick. Here's a rain harvesting umbrella. These are unuseless inventions. But what is interesting is that 2 different uses have been combined. So connect and combine by building on existing ideas is one way of innovation. One that I have seen is the Cafe Coffee Day, the Kumbakonam degree coffee that we see. We see a lot of similarities between them. The in fact, some of it, the Kumbakonam degree coffee looks a bit similar to Kentucky Fried Chicken. So, these are ideas which existed somewhere else, and we have got it into India and given our own Indian touch to this, just like the Chinese food in India. So this is one way of creating something new by connecting and combining or building on existing ideas. This is very often used in medicine and in music. A.R. Rahman uses different types of instruments and different voices, etc. And there is one example that I have seen where there was a case where there was a report that pregnant women in Bangladesh have very high BP normally. So instead of just giving them the treatment for high BP, which you cannot give because they are pregnant, so a group of people from the WHO visited Bangladesh. And as they were looking around, they found out that these people were also living in regions where there was high salinity in the soil. So because of the high salinity, a lot of cereals which they were having had high salinity, so they were taking in much more sodium chloride. And pregnant women do not have a efficient way of removing sodium from the blood, so which is why they were having BP. So the solution in this case was to look at different things and look for correlations and causation. And then they were able to tell these pregnant women to be more careful with the food that they were taking to ensure that the salt is controlled. So this is an example where you can look around, connect and combine the different observations. The third point that I would like to talk about in innovation is ideation and brainstorming. There are a lot of methods for ideation and brainstorming. There's something called design thinking, which some of you must have heard about. Dr. Subhashri has given a talk on design thinking some time back. So I will just talk briefly about something called systematic innovative thinking, or SIT. So this has a very, very simple formula. All of you know the mathematical principle: subtraction, addition, division, multiplication, transformation. That is what this innovative thinking method is. So here are a few innovative products. Can you identify the parent? The first one is an ATM machine. Who is the parent? The parent is the bank. Second is a baby chair. The parent is the regular chair. The third one is a cycling machine. The parent is obviously the cycle. The contact lens, the parent is a spectacle. So in this case, what has been done is a lot of other things which are not necessary have been subtracted. So like in an Apple iPod, etc., we find out what is the most important thing, remove all the other things. So that gives you, the subtraction is a method for giving a new product. Addition is also another method for giving new product. Two different things like peanut butter and chocolate, or the crackjack biscuits, which are both sweet and salty. That addition of two different things can also lead to innovation. The third is division. Can you divide one product into smaller parts? Like from a 2-in-1, from a tape recorder came the first Sony walkie-talkie. So that was division. So they just picked up what was most important and got that. So and you can have a carpet which can be divided into 4, and each of these carpets can be a single carpet. So this is division to create innovative products. Then multiplication is to have more number of products for the same. The Gillette double blade laser is more efficient simply because it has more blades. The Capro leveler is used for finding out the flooring levels because there are more of those oil droplets being used, oil leveler being used. So multiplication is another technique for creativity and getting a new project. Or transformation or task unification, where the same product can do two different functions. For example, the wiper also doubles up as the radio transmitter. So this is a task unification. This is a method for creativity. The fourth rule to be more creative is to make observations. So if I show you this slide, I'm sure all of you will be able to read it very quickly, according to research at Cambridge University, so on and so forth. But is that good? See, our brain is a machine, and it becomes very familiar. Even if there's something wrong, it doesn't notice it as something wrong, which is not good. So as an innovator, you need to have a keen observation. Let me show you an example. So there was David Friedberg. He used to travel about an hour every day in the same route, very boring. But he noticed something. He noticed that when he was traveling, there were a lot of people who were street hawkers, and whenever it was raining, there was a loss of revenue. The street hawkers or people who were loaning cycles, etc. So he came up with an idea for insurance for climate-related problems, and that became a success, Climate Corporation. So making acute observations of people around you and not get, so instead of just getting bored and looking at the same thing, if you have a keen sense of observation, you can actually become more creative. So to summarize what I've been talking about, to be creative, what do you need? You need first knowledge, then the ability to convert the knowledge with your imagination into new ideas, then the new ideas into a product or a project or a prototype. You need an attitude. So knowledge, imagination, and attitude. These are 3 very important products that you need to develop if you want to be creative. And the external factors are resources, habitat, and the culture. So at MGR, NewGenIEDC can help you with resources, habitat, and the culture if you provide the 3 internal pegs of the innovation engine. Now, are you ready for the MGR Online Hackathon? So here are the rules that we have. So we've started this, launched it today with a short talk on innovation and some rules. Okay, like I told you that we are going to give you a little bit of information, some technology, and then we will open up the the round 2. So you have to complete the round 1. You need to attend these 4 talks. So you've already done 1. Tomorrow, there is 1 talk at 3 to 4 by Dr. J. Arun Kumar. Dr. Arun Kumar is a biotechnology professor and he is also a faculty coordinator for NewGenIEDC. He is going to talk to you about creating a chatbot, which is a lot of fun. Create one just for fun. Then on Saturday, we have a talk by 2 people. One is Mr. Muhammad Rizwan, who is a manager for NewGenIEDC Business Development. He is a fabricator and has expertise in IoT, robotics, and sensors. He is going to give a talk on how to select the right sensor for your need. Then we have a small talk by Mr. Ganesh Babu, who is the system admin and he looks after the hardware and software requirements in the AKC. He specializes in 3D visualization and web development. He is going to give you a talk on the technical hardware requirement for projects. Then on 1st June, Monday, there is a talk by Ms. Bhuvneshwari, who will give a talk on creating apps and be an app maker and introduction to application development. So with these 3 talks, at the end of each talk, there will be a small quiz that you need to take. So I will post a link for this quiz in about 2 hours, which will be there on the explanation of the YouTube link. I request all the students to apply and complete this quiz. Okay, you need to complete all these 4 quizzes to complete the round 1. Then what is round 2? Round 2 is where you start working and give us your preliminary idea as a PPT. So what will that have? First, your team, the captain of the team and members. Then what important problem are you planning to solve? So here we've tried to make it free. You can choose a problem on your own. And how are you going to do it? If you're planning to, so this is where the links, the technology that we are giving you in terms of chatbots, app maker, use of sensors should help you. So you need to come up with your own critical new way of solving the problem. Then you need to tell us who are the customers who will be willing to buy from you. Then why only you? No, why not anybody else? And how will you defend against the others? So there are 6 slides in your PPT. And I would strongly recommend that you record a voiceover with this PPT and convert it into a video. We will give you a Google Drive link to post your video so that we can screen your preliminary idea and get back to you. Once you get your preliminary idea submitted and get it back, you can either choose your own mentor or we can give you some suggestions. And we will give you a week to create a working prototype. If it is a software hack, you can create your working app and get some feedback. If you are really keen on making a hardware hackathon, you'll have to make a digital prototype, a simulation, and the last date for that is June 10th. Okay, remember, what will you learn and what is it that you're going to get? Because the next 3 days, you're going to be learning new skill sets. You'll be meeting a lot of friends. You will network, you will create a team, and you will learn how to apply for a hackathon event. And if your idea is really something that the jury like, and they think there's a commercial potential, there's a very good chance that you will be able to get into the NewGenIEDC, where we give you 2 lakhs to create the prototype and 25,000 rupees to the team on completion of the project and 25,000 rupees to the mentor. And this year we can fund about 20 projects. So that's a big number. So do think and apply with any ideas that you have. Don't be scared, don't think that any idea is silly. All ideas are really good, and we want you people to apply with all your ideas. So this is the plan that we have with us. So you can post your questions in the Telegram group. We've asked all of you to become a member of the Telegram group. But Ganesh, I think the students cannot post anything in the Telegram group. Okay, in which case you can email me at ramavaidyanathan@drmgrdu.ac.in, and you can also give your comments, questions in the YouTube link. And we will be posting these videos in the AKC website also, where you can interact with us. So looking forward to having more of you participating in the hackathon events, and look forward to meeting you tomorrow at 3 o'clock for the chatbot talk. And don't forget, do complete the feedback link that I'll be posting at the bottom of the YouTube link today in about 2 hours time. So please fill that up for your feedback. Thank you.
Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Center of Excellence in Innovation and Entrepreneurship is a student incubator and a startup center at Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute, Adayalampatti Campus, Chennai. The center is funded by the university and the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, under the DST NewGenIEDC. We pride ourselves on being truly interdisciplinary. We have students from all departments: engineering and technology, architecture, dental surgery, physiotherapy, pharmacy. All of these people come together, ideate, brainstorm for new solutions for problems around us. These students create prototypes based on their ideas. In the last 2 years, we have funded 25 prototypes. 2 of the student groups has been converted into a campus company under the Startup Nidhi grant. Our students have participated and are finalists in the Smart India Hackathon 2019. Our students have participated in the proof of concept exhibitions conducted by the MHRD, and our students have participated in the National Boot Camp and are in the top 24. We owe our success to the committed mentors in our center, the excellent infrastructure in biotechnology and the startup center, the support of our management, and of course the infectious energy from our diverse students.